In recognition of tonight's Purple Out for Children's Cancer Association, we would like to remember all of the lives impacted by cancer. In special memory of Cameron Jenkins, a Nelson High School student who was a friend of many in the stadium this evening, please join us for a moment of silence in her honor. Thank you. Tonight we gather together in support of equality, social justice, freedom of religion, and freedom of speech. At Central Catholic, we embrace unity, peace, respect, safety, and dignity for all. At this time, we invite you to stand, remove your hats, and join us in honoring America by celebrating these with the national anthem played by the Central Catholic High School Band. By refraining from derogatory cheers, chants, or behavior towards students, coaches, officials, and other spectators. Any verbal, written, or physical conduct relating to race, gender, age, color, national origin, ethnicity, disability, sexual orientation, or religion will not be tolerated. Such conduct may subject the violator to be removed from the event and result in penalties assessed against your school. Any spectator removed from this event may be banned from attending future interscholastic events. Speak out if you see inappropriate behavior by immediately notifying event management staff. The OSAA and Central Catholic are committed to a welcoming environment that promotes fair play and respect for all, and expect the same from each of you here tonight. We request your cooperation in supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Together, we can provide a safe and respectful environment for all.
welcome into Hillsborough Stadium for a matchup between Central Catholic and Nelson High School. The first matchup between these two schools last year, this game was canceled, and now they'll have a chance to go up against each other. Two young squads this season, and it should be an interesting matchup, James, as we get today's game going.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to this matchup. I love the swagger that Nelson has. They've been talking, not talking trash, but just real confident about themselves and about their game. And, you know, they're 2-off to a 2-0 start. And now they're coming into the big stretch of their season as far as schedule goes. And now we'll see where they are against the Central Catholic Rams. Yeah,
this was a team last year that only had one senior on the team, so a very young squad that, you know, again, this is only their second year of existence. Their first year, they didn't even have a weight room coming out of COVID. So a whole different mindset going around this program this season compared to last year, as they've already matched their win total from a year ago. The Hawks are set to receive the opening kickoff. Out to kickoff for the Central Catholic Rams, it's Bo Robertson.
You know, they put up 27 points in the first quarter in their last game against Reynolds. And I know that the Rams should be a little bit better than the Reynolds Raiders, and so it's going to be interesting to see what this offense, because they have some playmakers. From everything that I'm reading, that I'm hearing, the Hawks have some playmakers, and we'll see what they can do with the speed and the talent and just the consistency of the Rams defense.
Now, the Rams did return 10 starters from a year ago between both the offense and the defense, but one thing you will notice that we talked about a lot last week, a lot of sophomores in this lineup that were making plays. So, again, a very young squad still getting, you know, the veteran feet underneath them from playing on these Friday nights. Not a lot of action, so they're learning trial by fire, basically. The opening kickoff is up and received at the 2-yard line by Nelson. Up the middle of the field, and got tripped up by his own men and taken down at the 23-yard line. It was number 13, Reed Gray, on the return, the senior for the Hawks.
I feel like when the Hawks have the ball, we're going to be hearing the name Reed Gray quite often. I know they try to get him the ball. He's one of those guys that they say is really explosive. The quarterback is he's really high on his receivers and his running back. He says they're explosive. They can make something out of nothing. So I would imagine they're going to be trying to get the ball in his hands quite often.
Dirdahl is the quarterback. Rolls out to his left. Looks towards the sideline, delivers a low pass, and it's incomplete. Intended for his receiver, Max Kirsch.
You know, when you're trying to establish your quarterback, trying to just get them into the rhythm against a team like Central Catholic that has had success sort of dominating the line, you move the pocket, and that's what they did, moved him out to the left. He tried to throw across his body, just a little bit low right there.
Jaden Seiler is the running back in the backfield with Dirdahl. Handoff to Seiler up the middle. And looked to gain a couple of yards on that play, but he's brought down by number 67, Kainoa Hayes.
By number 67, by number 76, by number 75. They were all in there on that tackle.
So it'll be 3rd and 9 from the 24-yard line for the Nelson Hawks on their first possession. It'll be trips right at the top for Nelson.
You know, you don't want to find yourself in 3rd and long against this Ram defense. We've seen Zach Davis last week just destroy the offense in these type of situations.
And a flag thrown. Play will be whistled dead.
Did you see who was in the backfield right there? As soon as
number 52?
That's Zach Davis, right on cue.
So, looks like the penalty is going to be on Central Catholic. And we'll have encroachment called. So, it'll be 3rd and 4 now after the penalty at the 29-yard line.
Can't make the defense happy. They can't make the defensive coaches happy right there.
No.
Penalties early in the game. You had them 3rd and long. Now this is 3rd and manageable.
Two receivers each side for Dirtall. Dirtall, it's a keep. Davis has him wrapped up by the jersey, and he's brought down by a couple of other Rams. It's McDaniel in on the tackle, along with Ty Jones.
Running around that outside, Zach Davis made his way into the backfield, and once he grabbed hold of him, all he needed was just some fingertips. He was not going to let that quarterback go.
Ziel Smith and Michael Williams are back to receive the punt.
Having two receivers back here has always been beneficial in my eyes. The punt, you never know where the punt's going to go. It could go left, it could go right. With one return man back there, he's got to try to track the ball from both sides. Now when you have two deadly weapons back there, you end up sort of making the punter nervous, and what does he do? Punt the ball out of bounds at the 50-yard line, a net punt of about 12 yards or so.
Now Alex Nito with the punt goes out of bounds at the 50-yard line, so a punt of 11 yards as that ball was, or 21 yards I should say. It was at the 29-yard line.
Dang it.
Was the line of scrimmage.
I was close, 12, 21.
That same numbers, right?
Yeah, exactly, just inverted. See what Crew Newman does on his first play. They typically like to come out throwing the ball, getting him in the rhythm early. Let's see if it happens here.
Galen is the running back in the backfield. Hand off to Galen off the right side, and he's met by a couple of Hawks. First by Ryan Wallace and number 73, Dominic Macon.
Okay, Galen will probably be heavily involved in this game with the absence of two of the big-name players that we have.
Yeah, the starting running back, Timmy Mitchell, will be out of today's game, along with Blake Anderson, who you could probably say is the most experienced receiver for Crew Newman, so not having him out there when you're already trying to figure out the new names and faces and getting continuity with your receivers. Here's a handoff to Williams from the backfield. He was in motion, cuts back inside. He's at the 30 and brought down at about the 28-yard line after a nice pickup by Max Kirsch. And that ball will be a pickup of about 15 yards.
Nice execution right there. You talked about having different weapons out there, and but if you can run through holes like that, it doesn't matter what your name is and who you are. If the blocking's going to be like that all game.
Newman drops back for his first pass of the day, puts it up over the top for Ziel Smith, and that's a touchdown. The Rams strike first with 9:11 left to go in the first quarter. Rams will go up 6-0 on a beautiful drop in the bucket by Crew Newman.
Beautiful drop in the bucket. You said it right. There was nothing Ziel had to do except just open his hands and let the ball fall right in. You can't throw a better pass than that.
Zeke Vantoff will come out for the extra point. And you could say that it's almost been a slow start for Crew Newman because of what he had going on with his connections with Jordan King and Riley Williams. Last year he had 37 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. That's only his third touchdown of the season through the air, but also taking a note that they played the #1 team in the nation, and that's going to be a tough defense any week.
Yes, absolutely. But 37 touchdowns last season?
37 touchdowns through the air.
Oh.
Not total, just through the air, because he tacked on, I want to say, close to 10 more on the ground.
Wow, I need him on my fantasy team. That was a nice drive right there. They started at the 50 off of the shanked punt right there, and they just did, 3 or 4 plays? But that's what the Rams offense is about. Nelson, I know they're coming in high, and they should be. They've won a couple games. They feel good, but they haven't faced an offense like this.
Yeah, they're about to go through the toughest part of their schedule. They've got Central Catholic this week. They've got Clackamas next week, who is just a built-in rival because of how this school has split up, and you took some of those kids from Clackamas, and so there's that extra built-in rivalry already.
Yeah, that should be a good game to watch. Like you said, there's a lot. I'm sure there's friends. There's probably enemies as well. So it's going to be some bad blood. Still be some good blood out there. So I think that would be an interesting game to watch.
It's Seiler and Gray back to receive the kick from Robertson. Gray will take the kick in the end zone. That will be a touchback, and so it'll be 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line for the Nelson Hawks.
See, everybody on the kickoff team runs into the end zone anyway. You know, if the ball was a touchback, there's no play, but everybody on that kickoff team runs all the way through to the end zone. Yeah, just sort of this discipline.
Yeah, I was about to say, the discipline in this team is second to none.
And that's the difference. You know, you talked about the younger players on Central Catholic's team, the young players on the Hawks team, but there's a culture here at Central Catholic, and those are the things that you see that builds winning programs.
Seiler moves into the backfield with Dirtall. Hand off to Seiler, goes to his left, now cuts back into the middle of the field, and he's met by Grover Mello.
Ran to the left, didn't like what he saw. Tried to run to the right, didn't like what he saw. Tried to run up the middle. He didn't like what he saw. I don't know where else you can run.
So far in the first two games that we've seen Central Catholic live this season, the defensive line has gotten a pretty good push up on the offensive line of the opposing team, and that makes things difficult. There's a jump there on the defensive line.
It's another penalty, another set of stairs.
And that was a problem for the Rams last week. They were dealing with a lot of penalties. Not only them, but Sandy as well. So that'll tack on 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 4 from just beyond the 25-yard line.
5-yard march off against the Rams for encroachment.
Two receivers, top of the screen. Seiler set up to the left side of Dirtall. Dirtall looks to his right, puts one up in the air for his receiver, and led his man too far as it takes him out of bounds. The pass was intended for Lucas Womack.
Good coverage right there. He had that inside leverage, and he just never let him get by him. He didn't. He wasn't. Womack was not able to get a step on him. He just stayed right in his hip. That ball would have had to have been perfectly placed for him to make that reception.
If you're Dirtall, though, you got to be happy. You put it too far and not shallow on that one, which it could have been intercepted. So Dirtall back again. Two receivers to the top, one at the bottom. Seiler in the backfield. And another flag. I think we've got encroachment again on Central Catholic, which would result in an automatic first down. And no, we got a false start this time. So it'll be 3rd and 9 from the 21-yard line.
A lot of movement, you know, and this was one of the battles that we were looking forward to seeing, who would win the line of scrimmage. You know, the Nelson Hawks, they come in with a big front line, 6'2", 280, 6'4", 285, 6'4", 245, and you know, we know a lot about football that the battles are won really right there in the trenches, and right now the Rams are controlling that line of scrimmage.
See if they can get another push here on 3rd down. Dirtall, running back to his left. Looks right, throws left, has the curl route open near the first down marker, and he'll make it pass. It'll be a first down for the Hawks as that pass was completed to Max Kirsch, his first catch of the day, and Dirtall's first completion.
Nice little pitch and catch right there.
And he went through a quick progression right there. Looked right and made his way back left to that curl. Trips right formation for the Hawks. Hand off to Seiler, and multiple Rams in the backfield before that play even started.
You know, and you can have size, but speed kills. You know, and right there you can see this defensive line is, as you said, right in the backfield, right as the play started. So as these big guys that they have here on Nelson from the Hawks, they're going to have to be able to move their feet as well.
Jeremiah Katsuda in on the tackle there. That'll bring up 2nd and 10 from the 34-yard line as we go just under 7 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Stacked receivers on the near side. Gray now in motion. Dirtall looks right. Now he scrambles to his right. Coming up, it's Katsuda trying to chase him down near the sideline. Dirtall got the edge, but it looked like he got minimal yardage on that play, maybe a yard. In fact, no, they're going to say he stepped out before he went past the line of scrimmage. He actually lost 3 yards on that play. So it'll be 3rd and 13.
The referees look like they're a little bit.
One referee looks like he's pacing it off for a flag. The other one, he put it on the far hash.
A little miscommunication right now, It happens.
Still the first couple weeks for the refs as well.
It's a referee shortage.
2 receivers each side of this formation. Durdahl is going to look to his left. He's got Gray in the middle of the field, and it looks to be a pickup of about 14, maybe 15. He's at the first down marker. Ty Jones was in on the tackle.
Ty Jones just gave him a little bit too much cushion. It looked like they were bringing the heat a little bit, and if they're going to bring that blitz, then, as corners and safeties, you got to move up just a little bit because you know that the quarterback is not going to have as much time. And right there, they gave him a little bit too much cushion and for close to a first down pickup.
Well, Nelson has been in trouble a couple times now, and they've fought their way back into good position despite being well behind the sticks. And now I think we're going to have a measurement. It's 4th and short. They're saying it's 4th and 1, but it's too close to tell right now. So we'll bring out the first down marker and give it an official measurement.
Looked like Nelson had a lot of guys on the field right there. Looked like they had 12 guys. They should have just gone ahead and let them run that play.
Well, now you've got yourself a built-in timeout. Try to stop some momentum for Nelson, who's slowly making their way down the field.
And this is a big measurement right here. 4th and inches. Nelson has not really been able to run the ball. And so if this is not a first down, they're going to have to make a big decision. And I'm sure they're going to go for it, but that's not going to be easy pickup.
Wow, that is close. We're talking inches here. Maybe 2 inches looking at what the referee just put up with his hand. I mean, it was
3 inches.
Oh, okay, my bad. Sorry. It was hard for me to tell from all the way up here. And it looks sort of like a jumbo package. 2 tight ends in now for Nelson. Shotgun formation. Seiler to the left of Durdahl. 3 linemen down, 2 linebackers on the edge for Central Catholic. Nelson looking over at the sideline.
Coach is doing the Macarena over there.
Durdahl trying to call Central Catholic off sides, and a timeout will be called by Nelson. And so after an early encroachment penalty on Central Catholic, you like to see that discipline on the defensive line and not jumping off sides.
Right, in-game growth. You talked about sort of that organic timeout that just happened right there. I'm sure Coach reminded his guys, watch the ball, watch the ball, watch the ball. Earlier we've seen that encroachment, but that's in-game growth right there. As the next time it arose, they did not fall for it. Now what do you think Nelson is going to do? You think they're going to come back out and go for it, or?
I think if they come back out in that exact same package, they're going to come out running the ball, hoping that they can get those, as you said, 3 inches out on the field. Nelson just 2 of 4 passing for 15 yards so far. They have 5 carries for 0 yards on the ground.
Well, you know that you're going to have to score points against the Rams. So it's no doubt that they have to go for it. You're going to have to put points up on the board. And it's just a matter of which play will they call.
So you've got the 2 tight ends down for Nelson on the line. Low snap, brought up, and I don't think he made it. It was a different back. It was not Seiler in the backfield for Nelson. And looking at where that ref just placed that ball is short, and that'll be first down Central Catholic.
The Hawks got out there in that shotgun formation, and you'll find a lot of old heads who will not in favor of that. You needed 3 inches, maybe 2 inches. You know, your eyes are a little bit better than mine. But you line up in that gun right there, and you can see what happens. A bad snap, the ball was dropped. He had to pick it up. By this time, the Rams defense is in the backfield.
I'll give you a perfect example of what we just saw if you're a fan of the NFL, football circuit and everything that's going on. Justin Fields had the exact same play happen to him. They were goal to go on 4th down. The Bears decided to go in shotgun and ended up hurting them because he was inches short going from shotgun on a QB sneak, on QB power, I should say. Hand off to Newberry. First down for Central Catholic. Makes a couple of moves. Now he wants to go back into the field. Gets tackled at the numbers near the 30-yard line. It'll be tackled at the 32. And he's taken down by number 33, Alex Leontuck.
Bryan, the Bears have a football team?
Barely a football team. If you can call it that.
Well.
People are still talking about 85.
Well, I'm a Texan fan, so I don't have a whole lot to laugh at.
Well, we've got a good matchup this weekend, huh?
Right.
Pass to Nico May, and it was a contested grab, and it's caught right in front of Max Kirsch. Nico May with the sticky hands.
Yeah, went up and got that ball. You know, it looked like it might have been an errant pass, but when you have receivers that are talented like this, you just put the ball up and let them go get it.
Solomon McDaniel is the tight end on the left side of the formation. 2 receivers on the near side. It's May and Smith. Williams is the receiver on the far side. Newberry in the backfield with Newman. Hand off to Newberry. Splits a couple of defenders, and he's taken down at the 21-yard line. Should be enough for a first down. He was taken down by Owen Hunt. And that'll be 1st and 10 from the 21-yard line now for Central Catholic.
You know, I love the no-huddle offense that Coach Pine and his staff run. It doesn't allow the defense time to get set.
Williams in motion again. It's a trick play. Pass back to Crew Newman, and he catches it on the run. He's got an opening for the end zone. He's got a blocker in front, and that's a touchdown for the Rams. A bit of trickeration here in Hillsboro.
What a play right there. Who saw that coming? You know, we've been doing Rams games for a while now. I have not seen that play. I
haven't either. Normally, we just saw Williams perfectly set up, by the way, because Williams on that first drive had a similar situation, took the sweep and picked up about 20 yards, and so there you're thinking, another sweep for Williams, and they come back with a throwback to Newman for the touchdown.
One play looks like another play, and it looks like another play, so you don't know what is coming. Like you said, it'll look like the same play that they ran a few sets ago, and the defense probably was ready for that. You know, it tricked me, so I started looking the other way. But they was probably ready for that sort of fly sweep right there. But then you throw it back the other side. Did you see the blocking that he had out there?
Oh, he had 3 or 4. He had his own personal protection out there.
You could have ran that ball in.
And the penalty flag on the extra point goes against Central Catholic, so they will back that ball up 5 yards on the extra point. And if you're Williams, you're just happy Crew is as fast as he is because he barely caught that ball. He needed every single centimeter of those fingertips to make that grab.
Just shows the athleticism of both players. They can do more than just one thing.
All right, can we get the Newman hat trick now? Can we get a touchdown on the ground for the quarterback? And then he'll have one through the air, he'll have one receiving, and then he'd have one on the ground. But right now, the Central Catholic Rams have a 14-0 lead with just under 4 minutes left to go in the first quarter. And short sustained drives, you could say right now, for Central Catholic. They had the 3-play drive on their opening touchdown drive. This one, I believe, was 4 or 5 plays. But they're chunk plays, moving the ball forward. They just don't have negative plays, and you don't see that very often with Central Catholic, and that's what makes them so dominant. That's
what makes them so dominant. You know, it sort of reminds me at a lower level of the new Kansas City Chiefs that you're watching as we talk about the NFL. Tyreek Hill was their big play last year, and they had a lot of big play, explosive plays, but now they're just sort of sustained drives, you know. And when you lose Timmy Mitchell, you lose Blake Anderson, you lose a lot of that explosive plays, but you can still move the ball down the field sort of methodically and then score every time you get the football. So you don't lose. You may lose some of that explosiveness, but you don't lose the ability to score.
So far for Central Catholic, 39 yards on the ground on 4 carries, 55 yards through the air. Newman is 2 for 2. Williams is 1 for 1, both of them with a touchdown pass. As Robertson set to kick, it's Seiler and Gray back to receive the kick. This one will go to Jaden Seiler, takes it at the 1-yard line. Stays in between the hash. Cuts back into the middle of the field. He's taken down by Ty Jones and number 17, Luke Anzalotti.
Ty Jones and on the stop for the Rams.
If there was ever a possession that the Hawks need to score, this is one of those possessions right here. They have to, at the minimum, move the ball down the field, take some time off the field, show that you can, you can be a threat to score. But if they go 3 and out, Bryan, we're going to be looking at that clock getting ready to start to run.
I think it all starts on this first play right here. Can you pick up positive yards on first down, not put yourself in a hole? As I think they're short a man right now. They only have 10 players on the field. And there's the 11th man coming on now for the Hawks.
Yeah, he doesn't look very – he doesn't have a sense of urgency out there either.
Yeah, that was Kyle Pahlke, number 23, running late onto the field.
Their second timeout of the first half.
And he hasn't had an appearance in the game so far, so it's the first time he was getting on the field. That's the second timeout taken by Nelson here in the first half. In fact, in the first quarter, and we still have 3:42 left to go in the opening quarter.
Nelson, you can see that there are some pieces here. You can see that they have something to build on. But what they're playing against is a program, and so right now they're starting to struggle. They can, you don't have 10, you don't have 11 guys out on the field. They haven't had to deal with this so far in the season, and now here they are down 14-0, and so you sort of lose your mind again as a teenager, and you have to try to get yourselves back together. Coach is going to have to come up with one of his best speeches at half. Wait a minute, this is still the first quarter?
Still the first quarter. Trips right to the top of the screen. Durdahl with a new running back in the backfield for the Hawks. Set up for blocking. Durdahl is going to go deep in the middle of the field, leading his receiver just a step too far for Reed Gray.
Not a bad play right there. Not a bad play. You have to be able to take some to make some big plays, and they went for it all right there, and he was only a couple steps away. I would not be surprised if they came back to that in a few plays.
And with how Central Catholic plays their defense, it looked like they had a cover 2 up top, and with the post route that they run, that's an opening right in the middle of that defense. Designed run. And taken down in the backfield, it's Durdahl.
Patrick Phelps in on the stop.
Phelps is the tackler on the play. So that'll bring up 3rd down and 13 from the 16-yard line of the Hawks. They have yet to get it across midfield. In fact, the punt they had ended up at midfield. They turned it over on downs on their last possession.
And they've given the Rams the ball in plus field position every time, and they're a dangerous offense or a dangerous team the length of the field, but you give them the ball at the 50 and it's typically curtains.
Nelson has a total of -4 yards rushing. Durdahl gets hit as he throws, and that's going to be a flag right there. Easy call as Luke Baker takes down the receiver, Lucas Womack, on the sideline. And I think Baker was trying to plead his case that Womack had his hands on him, and that's what happened there.
I think if we had replay, we would be able to see that. It looked to me like Womack sort of pulled him down, which is a great play. Now, was he doing it on purpose to get the call? I don't know, but you have nothing to lose in that situation, and it looked like it worked.
Penalty marker on the play.
And if I remember correctly, that should be an automatic first down. It'll bring them just past the sticks. It'll be at the 32-yard line.
Result of the penalty gives Nelson a first down.
Womack and Gray are the receivers at the top of the screen. Paulke, the receiver, on the near side. Seiler in the backfield. Receiver in motion, and it's a pop pass to Gray. Great cut. Bring it back inside. He's tackled out of bounds after a pickup of a bounce 6 yards by Ty Jones.
Get the ball into the hands of your playmakers. You know, he's coming across there full speed. Nice little pop pass, and turn the corner and see what he gets.
And that might, I know that counts technically as a pass, but that might be what they need to stretch to the edge offensively and get around this defensive line for Central Catholic, because they have not had a push. They haven't had much success running the ball with their running back, but if you can get the receiver in motion, maybe the Hawks can get something going.
Yeah, it sort of takes the lineman out of the play, and that's where the strength of the Rams defense has been today, is up front. And so when you get them moving like that, it sort of takes the strength away, and now you have to make plays around the perimeter.
Kirsch and Gray nearly stacked on the bottom part of your screen. Paulke, the receiver, at the top. Seiler, the running back. Poor execution on that play. Snaps seemed to be late. Running back took off before the ball got to the quarterback, and that's an easy call for the referees here tonight.
Right. Center looked like he was not in sync with the quarterback, and everybody else seemed to move on the cadence, and the center didn't snap the ball. But you see what play they were going back to. They were going back to that little pop pass to the strong side of the field, the wide side of the field. See if they can make something happen with that same play.
Trips right with a tight end for Durdahl. Durdahl looks left, and he's met by Grover Mello for a sack at the 25-yard line. And I didn't see Mello initially off the ball, but he got back there fast. There couldn't have been hands on him.
No, it wasn't. Hello, Mello. As soon as it was snapped, he was running. There was nobody chipped him, nobody blocked him, and he had to just, free pass to the quarterback. Quarterback made a business decision right there and just fell to the ground.
Second sack for Central Catholic. And after you had a big positive play on first down for Nelson, you get a flag, and then you get sacked, and now it's 3rd and 17.
Yeah, you don't win very many games with losing. What is this flag for?
This might be a delay of game with. Yep, that's exactly what it is. Let's add insult to injury for Nelson right now. And that's tough. Now, there are play clocks here inside the stadium, but they're not running. So if you're the quarterback, you really have to be paying attention to that back judge and when he's moving his arms for those final 5 count.
And in high school football, like you said, without the play clock, it falls a lot on the coaches. They have to get plays in and out.
Durdahl looking right over the middle of the field. Galen stretching out and unable to get a hand on the ball. That'll bring up 4th down, but there is a flag back at the 15-yard line. Let's see what they call here. And a chop block, it looks like, offensively. And let's see if they accept it or decline it. Declining it will make it 4th down.
Accepting it will make it 3rd and 1,000,000.
And set yourself up in that field position game in a nice spot again on Nelson's side of the field.
You go ahead and you always take you decline that. You get it to 4th down. Anything could happen on 3rd down. You can get a penalty and an automatic 1st down, anything. But I don't think that.
If they accepted the penalty, shouldn't it still be 3rd down?
I don't think that penalty. That's like a personal foul penalty. It's loss of down.
Loss of down. Okay.
I think that's what they're talking about right now. These referees have been in a lot of meetings today. Jeez Louise, it reminds me of work. Just every 2 minutes there's a meeting.
I like the one referee on the far side of the field right now. That's not a part of that meeting.
He's thinking about hot dogs. He's thinking about halftime.
This could have been an email.
Uh-oh.
And so now they're fixing it. It looks like they are not going to enforce the penalty, and it will be 4th down. Now that we've got some clarification, Alex Nita is back to punt the ball for the Hawks. It's Williams and Smith back to receive the punt. Nico May is the up man.
But they still marked some yards off, but I don't think it matters too much. Oh.
Mello came in trying to get a hand on it, and Williams will take it on the run at the 40-yard line, and he goes out of bounds at about the 32. As a couple Hawks come in late, no flags, no hits. So a return of about 8 yards on the run, as he took it at about the 40-yard line, maybe the 41. Officially, it'll be 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line.
So 3 possessions. You start one at the 50, one at the 49, one at the 33. I don't think you can ask for much better starting field position than that.
Two receivers each side. Davison and Williams, the receivers on the near side. Abraham and Smith, top of the screen. Newman looks to his right. He's got enough time. He hits Abraham on the crosser near the 30-yard line and taken out at the 28. Tackle made by Ryan Wallace.
You're talking about going through your progressions right there. Crew Newman just stay patient, stay patient. Mostly all their plays, there's a guy running a crossing route, and he hit him right in stride. It's good quarterback play.
Trips left. Newman looking to his right, looks right for Smith, and there should be a flag, and there it goes coming in. Seiler was the defensive back, and he was draped all over Smith.
Are you hearing extra? Okay. It sounds like as soon as the play is ran, there's someone starts talking.
First down.
I don't think the referee had turned his mic off.
Yeah.
And so we were hearing him think this play out loud before the play even happened.
14-0 lead for the Rams here. 49 seconds left to go until the second quarter.
First down.
It'll be first down after the penalty on Seiler for defensive pass interference. 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line.
I like Mike Williams' his matchup up top.
In fact, I only see 2 DBs for the 3 receivers on the far side of the field. And screen pass to Williams, and he's met by Womack at the 12-yard line, and that's where he will be taken down. Minimal gain of 2 on the play.
Lucas Womack with the tackle for the Hawks.
Big touchdown saving tackle right there. You know, there was, again, well-executed play. The pass was thrown a little bit inside. Mike Williams was looking for it towards like at his chest or even to his right side. But he made it. It looked like he could make a play there, but Womack made a touchdown saving play.
Reichler Piersnick is the running back in the backfield with Crew Newman. Piersnick takes the handoff to the right side. Now cut back into the middle of the field. Got past the 10-yard line, and that's actually where they will mark him down at the 10. Tackle made by Owen Hunt.
Piersnick on the carry.
We haven't said his name before. That's another weapon that the Rams are able to build, get some confidence. You're getting a carry here in the red zone in the first quarter. There's 4 different guys touching the football right there for the Rams in that quarter. That's how you continue to build your program. I know I talk about it a lot, but these guys have been winning consistently, and a lot of people are asking how. and not everybody can reproduce this, but this is how. When you get guys in the game in big minutes and early minutes, not just at the end when the game is out of control, but now they get to run behind the starting line. They get to play with the starting quarterback. That's how you build confidence. That's how you continue to build a program.
Yeah, I think you summed it up great last week, too, even though you just said this is not the garbage time and getting in there, but still having the ability to go out and produce on the Friday night, get those reps that are needed, because building this program, which you've said so many times in today's broadcast, it's a program. You have to build it up, keep it going, not rebuilding, but retooling, as you said last week, and that's exactly how you do it.
And why it's important now is because they're playing against the Nelson Hawks team, who is in their second year of existence. So I'm sure as a coaching staff, this is the model that they're looking at, and they want to be able to build this consistency over there in Nelson. And if they continue watching this film, they'll be off to a good start.
Start of the second quarter, 3rd and 6 for Central Catholic. Newman has to roll out of the pocket as he felt some pressure, and he finds Zael Smith, and he dropped it at the goal line. He was thinking 6 before he caught it. And the incompletion will make it 4th and 6 from the 10-yard line.
I don't believe Zael Smith knew that he could believe that he was that open. Crew Newman just extended the play. It looked like the Hawks were closing in on him. He stayed calm and just got out of the pocket, and Zael was wide open, but I don't think he could believe how open he was.
So Smith is now the receiver on the near side. Trips to the top of the screen. Davison, Abraham, and Williams. Cade Galen is the running back next to Crew Newman. 4th and 6. Second quarter. Newman looks to his left, comes back to his right, finds Abraham at the 3-yard line, and that's enough for a first down. And the machine continues. That is Central Catholic's offense. It'll be 1st and goal from the 3-yard line.
The Hawks there, they made a good tackle. They made a good play, and they're sort of excited that they held them from the touchdown. But you still get a first down, and now they get 4 more plays. Nice catch there. You see how he just used his hands. Abraham just reached up top, used his hands, kept the ball away from his body. Impressive.
Trips right up to the far side. Solomon McDaniel, the tight end on the near side. Newman, the handoff to Newberry, that's Cade Galen, who's in on the touchdown rush to make it 20-0 in favor of Central Catholic.
Great execution. You can't say it enough. The most good runs are big runs, touchdown runs, start off with a big hole up front, and there was another big hole right there. Cade Galen, although he's a great running back, he didn't have to do a lot right there.
No, not at all. Vantoff on for the extra point.
Zeke Vantoff to attempt the extra point.
And the extra point is up and good. So through the first quarter and a bit of change off the clock, Central Catholic is up 21-0 off of 107 total yards of offense, 62 through the air, 45 on the ground, and the Rams continuing to move the ball. And right now there's an injury down on the field for Central Catholic after that extra point.
You hate to see this. You just hope that he'll be okay.
Number 76 for the Rams, and that's Zugo below.
Look like he's tapping his knee as if this is where the problem is.
And that's the last thing you want to see for any of these kids out here today. I mean, for Central Catholic, you're talking about somebody who's been on your offensive line, somebody who's on your defensive line. Below, a team captain for Central Catholic, still getting looked at right now as he gets some help up onto his feet. And you're happy to see that he's up and moving, but he needs a lot of help to get to that sideline. He's not putting any pressure down on that left leg.
Yeah, let's hope, thoughts and prayers that he will be able to bounce back. I would not be surprised if he stays out of this game and just sort of starts working on that. Looks like it's a lower leg injury.
Well, just have to keep that next man up mentality for Central Catholic. You know they've got the firepower to do so.
He's putting a little bit more weight on it right now. That's always a good sign.
Yeah, now we're seeing that he's walking on the sideline, still with the help of a trainer and a coach. Gray and Seiler back to receive the kick from Robertson. Seiler will take it at the 13-yard line. He's up at the 25. A pile of Hawks are in his way, and he's met at the 28-yard line by number 21, Palmer Davison.
Yes, he was. He was met, as you said right there. Hello, I'm Palmer Davison, and you're going backwards. He sort of hid behind his blockers for a while as long as he could. He tried to break it outside, and that's right there where Palmer was.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. The best starting position for the Hawks today. Let's see if they can have a sustainable drive here with the sophomore quarterback in Dirtall. Trips right. Empty formation, 2 receivers to the left. Dirtall, it's a screen pass to Gray in the middle of the field, and he's taken down at the 35-yard line. Taken down by number 54, Israel Palacios.
Jahil Smith in on the stop for the Rams.
Smith also in on the tackle. Paulke, the receiver, on the near side. 2 receivers top of the screen. Rush up the middle for number 22, Jack Gandert. That'll be his first carry. Pickup of 4. It'll be 3rd and 1 from the 39-yard line.
Nice set of plays right there. They're moving the ball up the field. 3rd and manageable, 3rd and short. If they don't get a penalty, they're in a good position to just move the chains, methodically try to get themselves back in the game.
Gandert in the backfield again. Another handoff to Gandert to the left side. Got past the first line of defense and spins away from Ty Jones, but he's brought down at the 48-yard line, and that'll be a first down for the Hawks.
That's good for Nelson, first down.
Gander is making a plea for, put me in the game. Let me get more carries.
You know what I love to see out of Gander right now? So small. No gloves, no wristbands, nothing. Just classic back.
Just out there. Just come out here ready to play football. Now, I sort of think he forgot or he lost his gloves.
And there he tries to bounce it to the outside, lays down a shoulder, but he's met by Roan Beaupre and pushed out of bounds after a gain of about 1, maybe 2 on the play. It's a gain of 1. It'll be 2nd and 9 from the 49-yard line.
Roan Beaupre. I love that name. They've taken Gander out.
So Gander's out. It's back to Seiler in the backfield now. 2 receivers on the near side, tight end and a receiver at the top. 2nd and 9. Handoff to Seiler to the left side. Gets past 1 tackler, wrapped up and spun out of bounds. And it's Beaupre again in on the tackle. Gain of 2. It'll be 3rd and 7 from the Central Catholic 49-yard line.
They're trying to use that speed and get outside, but that speed may be beneficial against Reynolds or somebody else that you play against. But that speed can be matched here with the Rams, so they're not able to turn that corner.
Dirtall Throws to his right and almost brought in by his receiver number 13, Reed Gray, but just out of his reach. That'll bring up 4th down, and you're down 21-0 here. 9 minutes left to go until halftime. It almost sort of becomes 4-down territory. I mean, if you want, you could push Central Catholic back to their worst starting position in today's game if you go for a punt, but the offense still on the field for the Hawks.
Right, and they have not been punting the ball extremely well either. So you're looking at it from a couple different lenses, and right now the only lens that it says is go for it.
Dirtall 2 for 8 for 26 yards today. Looked left initially, goes back right. He's got Gray and the first down. Cade Galen and Dial Smith in on the tackle after a pickup of about 15 yards on that play. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line.
You know, that was the same route that they ran the play before when he threw behind him and who was it? Gray tried to make a spectacular catch. And so as a coach, you're saying, hey, it worked a minute ago. Let's try to do it again. And this time he hit him right between the numbers. Easy pickup.
Gandert back in the backfield. He gets the handoff towards the left side, tries to stretch it out, and Nico May denies him before he gets back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 33.
These running backs will soon learn that they can't stretch these plays out. We saw it last week when they were running up the middle. They were having the opportunity for more positive yards. We saw it earlier in this drive when Gander was sort of running off tackle or whatnot. He was getting positive yards. But when you try to stretch that field and get outside, it hasn't been a recipe for success.
Okay. Paulke and Gray, the receivers on the near side. They've got a tight end as well in Courtney. Womack, the receiver, top of the screen. Out to Gandert. There is a flag out on the field. And Gandert gets hit by number 75, Maddox Carpenter, at the 25-yard line. Flag is up at the 37. And that flag came out pretty quick. And I think it's more of it's a sideline warning against Nelson. So they're going to count that play. It's just a warning. So if it happens again, though, then it will be a flag on Nelson. So it'll be 2nd down or 3rd down, and it looks to be about 2 from the 25-yard line. Trips right with the tight end. Gandert gets the handoff in the middle, spins, got away from one tackle, and immediately put down by number 19, Henry Osborne. Spin move looks great in theory, and then when you get hit when you're least expecting it, that's when it bites you.
Right. It looked like he was ready to do that spin regardless. You know, he's been playing some PS5, and he's ready to hit that XO button. And like you said, it looks great, but if somebody's on the other side of that spin, you could really be in trouble. But Gander come out, and he's moving the crowd a little bit.
This is the best position that the Hawks have been in all game. The ball's on the 20-yard line, officially in the red zone against the Rams. 1st and 10, hand off to Gander. Nope, play action. And a sack in the backfield. Patrick Phelps in on the sack. Dirtall loses 7 yards on the play.
Looked like Dirtall might have had a read option right there, and he made the wrong read. He should have just given that ball to Gander. You have not had a whole lot of time in that backfield, so if you're trying to read option or play action, you better make a decision quickly. And right there you can see that's another sack for the Rams.
That's the 3rd one on the night for Central Catholic. Dirtall, screen, set up, and it's dropped by Kirsch.
Nice play out there.
I couldn't see who broke up that play, but it looked like he got a hand on the arm of Kirsch, and so he was unable to bring that pass in.
Looked like it may have been Luke Baker. You know, like you said, as he's running by, he's getting blocked. He's trying to shed the block. But if you can't get your whole body out of the block, at least throw your hands in there, throw your arm in there. And he got his arm in there and pulled that ball out of there. Created an incomplete pass.
All right, so Gander back in the backfield. 2 receivers each side. There was a bug going around for Nelson, and Gandert was the healthy back so far this week at practice, so that's why he's getting some run. Dirdahl almost chased down from behind, and he gets Kirsch at the 20-yard line. That'll get them back to the original line of scrimmage. And initially you think that ball might have been intended for Gray, but Kirsch behind him on his route, able to make the diving catch.
Nice catch right there. You know, good route. The sideline was trying to say incomplete, but it doesn't matter what the sideline say. The referee said it was a catch. They moved it. Oh, they didn't move the chains. That's back to the original line.
That's back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 4th and 10 from the 20-yard line now.
See if they go back to that slant route.
Looks to be man defense. End zone shot, deep corner. It's thrown, and it was caught, but out of bounds.
Pass roll incomplete out of the end zone.
That may be an incompletion in the books, but Lucas Womack laying out in that back corner, a terrific effort and a well-thrown ball right there by Dirdahl. Put it where only his man could get it. Unfortunately, he takes him out of bounds.
Right, just a little bit too deep back there. You know, he ran out of real estate, as they say back there. But like you said, nice catch. He concentrated on that football. He showed anybody that's watching that he can make some spectacular plays, but just not enough room back there. And now you give the ball back to the Rams with 6 minutes to go. We've seen what they can do in less than this.
So Mello is the tight end on the right side of the formation. Galen in the backfield. May and Smith, the receivers on the near side. Newman has to step up. He's going to tuck it and run. Makes one move, makes a defender miss. And now he'll step out of bounds, almost taunting the defender at the 35-yard line as he gets pushed out by Jackson Larson.
Nice read. You know, when you can have a quarterback that's mobile like that, he can sit in the pocket and wait and wait and wait. And then when you think you're closing in on him, he can make something out of nothing. That's a big weapon to have right there. Crew Newman just continues to grow and grow and grow right before our eyes.
Trips right with the tight end down. Smith, the receiver on the near side. And it's a screen to Galen. He's at the 40-yard line. Had a couple of blockers out in front of him. Now he cuts back to the middle of the field, splitting the defenders and taken down at the 46-yard line of Nelson. In on the tackle, it was number 2, Vlade Thilavan. And a first down for the Rams as we go under 6 minutes until halftime.
Great execution. You know, the key to any successful screenplay is a couple things. Patience for one, and blocking, and it all came together right there. It was patience on the quarterback, patience on Cade Galen to not give that play away too early, resulted in a big pickup.
Drop backs the pass, and it looked like it was Mello who made the catch. And that should be a first down. It will be a first down, taken down by Owen Hunt. And so the Rams continuing to move that ball down the field. Difficult catch right there for Mello. Had to get around the referee to see that ball.
The referee looked like he was going to catch it. He sort of raised his arms at first, either to catch it or get it out of the way or something. Great concentration by Mello. Another receiver. I'm sure Chuck can tell us how many different receivers have caught passes here, but 5 different receivers here in the first half have caught passes, including the quarterback.
That's including Crew Newman. Flag out on the field as Newberry taking it down the sideline, out of bounds at the 10. There is a flag back at the 33-yard line, and an additional flag just came out right now at the 10-yard line. I think that one will be called for a late hit, but these penalties might be offsetting. Let's see what the referees call.
But first they must meet. We need to get the referees some walkie-talkies. As I'm looking at it, it might be a great idea.
So we've got a hold against Central Catholic and a personal foul against Nelson.
Two penalties on the play. First one holding against the Rams. Second one personal foul against Nelson.
So they mark off the holding, and then do they mark off the?
Why can't you just go 5 yards forward? Why are you going 10 yards back to go? It's a personal foul. It'll be 15 yards.
Right. It's too much like right.
You know, it's got to work smarter, not harder.
Yeah. He's trying to get some steps in.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
10-yard march off on holding against the Rams, then a 15-yard.
See, it's for visual purposes. You have to go through the motion so everybody can see what's going on. You go back 10 for the holding, and the personal foul was after the play, so they have to show everybody.
All right.
For us visual learners.
First down and 3 yards to go. Pass to the outside to Williams on a hitch route and take it out at the 18-yard line. Sam Lewis in on the tackle. So we're now under 5 minutes to go until halftime. 4:47 to be exact. A 21-0 lead for the Rams. And they are pushing on the door to make it 28-0.
Just keep moving those chains, just keep moving those chains. First downs. The most tired of people in the gym, in the facility are the chains crew over there. Just going back and forth every time the Rams get the football, because they're sustaining drives. They're not hitting big plays.
Hand off to Newberry to the left side. Found an opening, but gets back to the line of scrimmage. Taken down by Hunt. One could make the argument the referees are making the most moves today.
That's true. You got to go to a huddle over here, and then you go over to a huddle over here, then you march off 10, and you go back 15. Yeah.
And you put the ball on this hash, and you got to move to the far hash.
A lot of movements by the referees and the linesmen today.
All right, it's 2nd and 9 from the 18-yard line. Newberry, the running back, next to Crew Newman on his right. Davison Smith, the receivers on the near side. Tight end down with Williams, the receiver at the top. Newman looks to his left, goes towards the sideline, hits Davison, who keeps his feet in bounds. He's tackled near the 1-yard line. The pylon went down. We'll see what the referees call. And Davison is down at the 1-yard line, but a great effort from the receiver right there from Central Catholic. And again, it wasn't necessarily a big play through the air. It was a shorter pass, and then Davison was able to extend that play.
Right, but if we had the opportunity to go and look back at that play, look at that ball placement by Crew Newman. Amazing.
Just over the defender's hand. Here's a handoff to Newberry. And Newberry will pick up the touchdown. That'll be his second of the season. And a 27-0 lead right now for Central Catholic.
This Central Catholic offense reminds me of the Broadous family reunion picnic. Everybody eats. You've got Crew Newman, who scored a touchdown. You've got Michael Williams, who scored a touchdown. I believe Newberry and maybe even Ziel Smith.
It was Cade Galen, the other one, yeah. Solomon McDaniel, the late addition to the extra point for Zeke Vantoff.
The orange shoes.
Kickers always have to stand out.
Yeah. Got one job.
Kick is up, and it is good. 28-0 with 3:38 left to go until halftime. Now, if you're Nelson, you may be a bit discouraged by what the score is right now, but you have to think there were some positives on that last drive. You got all the way down. Now, granted, you were on the very edge of the red zone, but you were in the red zone. You were at the 20-yard line of Central Catholics, and then you had negative play on top of negative play, set yourself up for failure at that point, and then they turned it over on downs in the red zone. But still, it took time, certain play calling to get yourself down there. They had some success, and hopefully they can build on it here with 3:38 left to go until halftime and get some points up on the board.
Right, that's all you're looking for right now at this point, is something to build on. Coach Hazel, he can build off of that last drive. And what he can tell his team is if we quit getting negative plays, if we don't hurt ourselves, then you will put yourself in a better position to win. Now, that may not be the complete truth, but you have to find something to build on. And the team has hurt themselves with those negative plays. You know, they did move the ball. Let's see if they come back with some of those same plays that had the success on that last drive.
Low kick. Gray takes that with one hand. Now he's trying to make some moves and quickly met by a few Rams. Looks like Abraham and Beaupre were in on the tackle. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line for the Nelson Hawks.
I was impressed with that one-handed snatch right there by Gray. You mentioned it in the last drive, or 2 drives ago. Again, this first play right here could be big for the Hawks. You know, they're going to try to get in and score. You know, you have to try to get some points, some momentum going into the half, and this first play could be big. I would not be surprised if they're looking back again for Max Kirsch.
Another thing to look at, they've had 2 long passes that were just out of the reach of their receivers, so they have a couple of playmakers that get behind the defenders but can't connect on the passes. And taken down in the backfield, Patrick Phelps brings down Jack Gander. That'll be a loss of 3 on the play. There is a flag down at the 27-yard line.
I've never seen that signal before.
Personal foul against Nelson.
So personal foul against Nelson, and I'm with you, partner. I couldn't quite make out what they did. The signal from the referees I'm talking about.
Right, I've seen that look like Superman. He's like pointing and he just pull out, show the S on his chest. Superman showed up. We got kids down here having a good time, not watching the game.
That's a personal foul penalty, so that'll back them up 15 yards. And technically, it's some change on there from where the penalty happened. That's their 6th penalty for 60 yards now, James, and they can't seem to get out of their own way.
You're not going to beat the good teams beating yourself like that.
Durdahl throws over the middle, and the pass was intended for Kirsch. It was broken up by Luke Baker.
So Kirsch has been their most successful receiver today. And in these last 3 minutes, you're going to have to try to get him the ball as often as you can if you're trying to put some points on the board.
Gray was one of the receivers on that deep pass that they couldn't connect on. I think Womack might have been the other, but Kirsch has been consistent, like you said, partner. Durdahl's 5 for 14 for 58 yards. He'll have another attempt here. Deep ball near the 50, and Baker tried to intercept it, and he breaks up the pass intended, like you predicted, to Kirsch. Not a terribly thrown ball right there by Durdahl. But I think Baker just made a great play on it.
Right, that's exactly right. That's what I was going to say. Baker was just right there. There's no separation. Baker feels like he can run step for step with Kirsch. The ball was placed in a spot where Kirsch could make a play, but Baker made a better play.
So it'll be 3rd and 27 from Nelson's own 13-yard line. 2 receivers each side. Seiler, the running back in the backfield. Screen set up for Seiler, and the pass went just past him and almost intercepted by Henry Osborne as it went off the hands of Jaden Seiler. So that will bring up 4th down. Clear punting situation with 4th and 27 on your own 13-yard line.
It's a tough screen play right there when your quarterback has to look over the lineman to try to find another short running back, you know. So he had to throw that ball. It was sort of like a balloon. It took too much time in the air, and by then everybody in the stadium knew that it was a screen. This wasn't going to be very successful had he caught that.
Williams and Smith will be back to receive the punt. And I believe a timeout was called. Timeout called by Central Catholic. And yeah, I like this timeout right now by Coach Pine. You had all 3 timeouts just before he took that one. You've got just over 3 minutes left on the clock until halftime. This gives you an opportunity to talk things over with special teams. How do you want to set up your offense for this final drive before going into half?
Right. And if I see Coach Pine, he's out here, he's counting his guys, so I don't think he had all the right players out there on the field. If he didn't have the right players, or he didn't have enough players, and so you want to get it right. You're not going to take anything to chance. This is the first half. You're trying to score as many points as you can. You never know what could happen in the second half. And we know that the Central Catholic coaching staff, they're perfectionists, and so they're not going to settle for something that's not right just because you have a 28-point lead.
All right, 3:07 left to go until halftime after the timeout.
They were playing the Pee Wee Herman song right there. Who remembers that?
It was near the end of my time. Williams will take the punt at his own 49-yard line. Slips his way up to about the 40-yard line of Nelson. So great field position for Central Catholic with just under 3 minutes to go until halftime. Offensively for the Rams, 6 different receivers have caught a pass tonight for 105 total yards. Mike Williams leads the way with 39 yards.
Six different receivers here in the first half. You're down 2 of your biggest weapons, Timmy Mitchell and Blake Anderson, and you're still spreading the ball around. It's just a lot of opportunities for guys here at Central Catholic if you're playing football.
And what's great about this offense right now, not that they didn't do it last year, but last year you have Riley Williams. That's an easy target for you that you can go to, a safety blanket if you want. But this year it's almost as if not having that go-to guy makes it easier to spread the ball around for this offense. As Alex Nita makes the tackle on Piersnick after a gain of 3 on that play. That'll be 2nd and 7 now from the 37-yard line.
After the flag.
After the flag, you're right. So, which week reminds you more of your dorm room? This week or last week with all these flags?
This week.
This week? All right.
Yeah. Last week was bad, but, that's only on week 1 of my dorm room. Week 2, you get this much laundry.
And we've got a hold on Central Catholic, so instead of it being 2nd and 7, it'll be 2nd and 17.
Small things to a giant, Bree.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Central Catholic go to the air right here and get back to the original line of scrimmage. McDaniel, the tight end, on the near side with the receiver Williams. Looks to be Abraham and May, the receivers to the top. Newman goes towards the sideline, got back to the original line of scrimmage with a pass to Abraham. Twisted down by a couple of Hawks. Kirsch is the man who ends up with the tackle. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Kirsch made another great tackle, solo tackle right there. If he doesn't make that play, there's a lot of green.
Probably get the first down
Absolutely.
On that play.
You get the first down and maybe even a touchdown because he's out there on an island.
Whistle's blown.
Just whistle check, huh? Just want to check that whistle, see if it works.
And now they're making sure they get the clock going. All right, so just over 2 minutes to go until halftime. May and Abraham, the receivers on the near side. Newman looks to his right. He's going for the deep ball for Williams, and he leads his man too far. And that will be an incompletion. Stops the clock at 1:51. And that will bring up 3rd and 10 for the Rams.
He had him by a step. I think Newman just sort of got a little bit excited when he stepped back and his drop. He noticed that the guy that Williams was open, had him by a step, and just sort of overthrew him. Sometimes the easiest throws are the hardest to make. I wouldn't be surprised if they came back this way with that same route pattern.
Trips left, tight end on the far side. Piersnick is the running back in the backfield. He blocks for Newman. Newman steps up, makes one defender miss, and he is met by Owen Hunt at the 38-yard line. The tackle at the 37-yard line, a pickup of 3, and that will make it 4th and 7 from the 37.
Nice tackle. Nice tackle. I think that may have been a design quarterback draw right there. That was a nice tackle. You can see Crew Newman moving a little gingerly right there. That was a big hit, but he bounced back up.
That was one of those where you just plant your foot in the ground and you stick the guy who's carrying the ball. So it'll be 4th and 7. Timeout called by the Rams as Zyle Smith will now get back out on the field. This will be the first time he's in on this possession, which is a bit surprising as your number 1 receiver in today's game. You had Abraham Nico May out there just before that timeout.
I think Coach is just, again, sort of spreading the wealth, letting other guys get an opportunity to play. But now when it's 4th down and a big play right here, or you need a big play, you bring your guys back in.
Well, for the Rams, you'd want to get some points here before the half, but if you don't, you do receive the opening kickoff for the second half and have a chance to get back into the end zone. Nelson received the open kickoff. Smith, the receiver on the bottom of your screen. Newman rolling out to his left. Come back, and at the 22-yard line, he cuts back in, and Kirsch will tackle him at the 13-yard line. What field awareness right there by Zyle Smith.
Absolutely. The route, he showed field awareness on that route. He showed field awareness on the after the catch, the yards after the catch, being able to not go out of bounds, turn up the field, and get extra yards. Great route right there, and another great ball placement by Crew Newman.
Williams and May, the receivers at the top. Hand off to Piersnick. No, Newman keeps it. He's got an opening towards the end zone, and he's done it. He's hit the trifecta. He's got a receiving touchdown, a passing touchdown, and he adds on a rushing touchdown. It's Crew Newman to make it 34-0 just before the half.
Nice read option right there. He had everybody fooled, including my partner. And
I'll admit it. That was a great fake right there by Crew Newman.
Fake. And, you know, Piersnick could have got the ball. He had a big hole to run through too.
That's what I mean. It looked like he easily had it. He could have had 4 or 5 yards.
Exactly. Second touchdown by Crew Newman.
Second touchdown. First one, he had receiving. That one was on the ground, and then he had the passing touchdown to open up the scoring in today's game. So 35-0, which leads to my partner's 2 favorite words, running clock, for the second half. And talking with Coach Hazel during this week, he knew this was going to be a tough contest going up against Central Catholic. Yes, his team was undefeated, but he knew what task was at hand going up against the defending state champs, 2-time defending state champs, I should say.
You know, he knew, but I don't think his players knew. You know, his players, they were riding high, and they should have been. Again, they were confident, they were swag, had a lot of swag. It sort of reminds me of Rocky III when Rocky wanted to fight Clubber Lang. But Mickey was trying to tell him that Clubber Lang is a bad dude. And Rocky was like, well, I'm a bad dude. And Mickey, you know, he told him, he'll kill your dad, Rock, in 15 seconds. And this is what's happening right here. They sort of did not know what they were really going to get themselves into right here. Not saying they're not a good football team and they're going to continue to build, but these guys have been good for a while, and you can see the execution in their offense and defense is just a little bit better than the teams that they have faced, that the Hawks have faced.
Well, I just mentioned the Central Catholic was the 2-time defending state champs. As here's a squib kick in the middle of the field taken by Nita. He's at the 30-yard line, pushes away Ty Jones, stiff arms another Ram, and he's taken out of bounds. There's some tussling going down on the sideline, and some Hawks need to be separated from the Rams. There's a flag. That was to be expected. And you think those tempers are flaring right now between these two teams? We've got a couple of Hawks taking away their teammate right now, and Jackson Larson basically have to pull him from the sideline of the Rams. Nita had a nice return. I couldn't tell who made the tackle on that play.
But it was a nice tackle, a nice form tackle, nice legal. Everything about it was legal.
Yeah, I was going to say, all that he was in the field of play when that tackle made. I just don't think he appreciated the drive, but that was all part of the tackle that was in play.
And when you get tackled, you want to get up as fast as you can. And sometimes the defender is not in a position to just get himself up. So you sort of feel like he's holding you down. He's keeping you from getting up. But I don't think that was the intention. And then when you're surrounded by the opposition, you can pretty much believe that there's going to be some interference being ran down there.
I mean, the safe bet would say that's probably going to be a flag on the Rams with all the players that were around the Nelson Hawks, but we'll see. Maybe they saw who instigated it, and actually it's going to go against the Hawks.
Now, we don't know if they're going to turn around and march back.
That's true, yeah.
You know, we've seen this before. Oh, he puts
15-yard penalty, personal foul, marched off against Nelson.
So just the one personal foul against Nelson. So after a great return from Nita up to near the 40-yard line, and now they're going to have to start over at their own 23. That's their fourth 15-yard penalty in this game.
Can't afford to lose those type of yards. This looks like it's going to go deep to Kirsch, maybe. Oh, everybody's
You've got
moving
two
at the
people
same
in
time.
motion right there, some confusion. Larson went in motion, and so did the receiver, Gray, and that'll lead to too many men in motion.
False start indicated against Nelson.
Too many men in motion. You're talking about some trickeration. They want everybody to be moving at the same time. Nobody can figure anything out.
I didn't realize we were playing CFL rules tonight.
Right. This has been a pretty long first half here.
I have a feeling it'll be a quicker second half, though. All right, two receivers at the top with a tight end. Kirsch, the receiver, on the bottom of your screen. Here's a handoff to Seiler up the middle. Got to the 20, and he was met by a pack of Rams. McDaniel in on the tackle. And it looked to be like number 50 as well. That was Francis Godley Campbell. "23 seconds until halftime." Seiler and number 9, Kirsch. The receivers at the far side. Oh, bad mesh point right there between Seiler and Dirtall. And that will end the half. Tough way to end that first half for Nelson when things definitely weren't going your way. You had penalties, negative plays, and then you have bad mesh point between those two players that leads to a fumble. It's 35-0. Central Catholic leads the Nelson Hawks. We'll be right back after halftime.
members will roll across the turf while one member stands on a cheer the mat surfing position. Rolling team members will need to keep rotating spots in order to keep the mat going. Then half the team will participate in the box relay. Players will stand in a line. A box will be placed over one student. They will have to run to the next yard line and back and then transfer the box to the next player without using their hands. The last person to receive the box will complete their turn and take the first football pass participant. The second half of the team will participate in the football pass competition. Players will pass the football back and forth to each other as they run to the next yard line. The last person to catch it will have to throw it and hit the cheer mat from the surfing position. The first team to hit the mat with both of their footballs will win. All right. We will have two teams competing, one from Central Catholic High School. Put your hands in the air, Central Catholic High School. Woo! St. Mary's Academy. All right. Here we go. Rickety, let's kick it off. On a night like this, everybody is a winner. So let's give it up for St. Mary's Academy, Central Catholic, and especially for CCA. And just as an update, thanks to your generous donations tonight, we're super excited to announce that we met and exceeded the Beaverton Toyota $1,000 match. Keep spreading the joy with your time, talents, and treasure. We hope to see you at the Walk of Joy on Sunday. You're still able to donate on the website until then. God bless everybody. Have a great night.
Once again, we'd like to thank everyone in attendance for their support of the Children's Cancer Association.
Welcome back to Ram TV here at Hillsborough Stadium for tonight's matchup between Central Catholic and Adrian C. Nelson. Bryan Sleik and James Broadous with your call. It's currently 35-0 at the half, and that's because it was an offensive output by Central Catholic. Crew Newman was 9 for 11 for 114 yards. Michael Williams was 1 for 1 for 20 yards, and that completion went to Crew Newman. For the offense, 134 yards through the air, 102 on the ground for 236 total yards. 5 penalties for 40 yards. Meanwhile, on the other side, Nelson had 75 yards through the air on 5 of 16 throwing. Negative 15 yards on the ground on 14 rushes. It was a tough first half for Nelson. They had some momentum going on the second to last drive before the half, but 8 penalties for 80 yards will certainly end any momentum that you have going. And James, what were your thoughts on that first half between these two teams?
Well, you know, you can't have those type of penalties. You're already playing a very good football team. You're the underdog. You're not running the ball well. You just can't have that many penalties, and it really hurt the Hawks.
Nelson with a pooch kick. It's picked up by Williams at the 20-yard line. He's got an opening on the near side. He's got a block out in front, and there's a flag going to be on Abraham. Williams skates past the kicker and into the end zone, but don't get too excited, folks. This ball is going to be coming back because of a holding penalty on Amari Abraham. He was pushing the defender back. That was number 15, Eli Stevenson, but Stevenson was trying to break away. You could tell that there was a hold, excuse me. And so that will come back and start near the 30-yard line. We'll see where they mark it off after the penalty, but first down for Central Catholic. Otherwise, we've seen Mike Williams do that a couple times this season. That's nothing new to us. He's got the speed, he's got the vision to see through the kick returns and the blocks and everything else like that, and unfortunately it all comes back.
Yeah, they're going to learn. Teams are going to learn to not kick him the ball. But your other option is Zael Smith, and we know that he can do some of the same things. But, you know, there's just great vision. You know, when you're on the kick return team, you have to have good vision. Like you said, be able to read the holes and hit the holes and then use that speed to the outside.
I don't know if it's a number thing, but he reminds me with how he runs and the way he moves. I don't know if you'll remember this name, but former All-Big Ten player Dorian Bryant. Here's Piersnick with the carry, and he's brought down at the line of scrimmage and taken down by number 6, Charlie Engelgau. But Bryant, what he did was he was a special teams expert. He was also a wide receiver for the Boilermakers back in the mid-2000s. Led the conference in total yards. He was the record holder for a while, but he just runs so similar to that style of Bryan. I'm not going to be surprised if we start seeing him, you know, come to fruition with his talents playing on Saturdays at some point, depending on what level. And another flag out on the field.
Depending on if we ever get out of this game. Jeez. There's just flag after flag after flag.
And this one will go on the Rams. So after you lost a couple of yards on the run by Piersnick, it'll looks to be 2nd and 17 from the 20-yard line. Newman, Piersnick to his right. Fakes the handoff. Newman keeps it himself. He's got an opening. Beats one defender, and he's got an open field. And no, he's tackled by Seiler at the 40-yard line. That's a pickup at the 41-yard line. And that's a pickup of about 20 yards on the ground right there by Crew Newman.
Man, and you didn't get fooled that time. You had your eye on him that time because he got you the first time, but you can see right there, man, he's showing off. He is showing off today. He's got speed. He's got vision, you know, and he made the right read. You know, those are great quarterback qualities, and he's showing them all today.
33 yards on the ground for Crew Newman.
He already has the hat trick, as you talked about.
Yeah. Go ahead, finish.
Of the passing touchdown, the running touchdown, and the catching touchdown. This guy is showing all his moves today.
Piersnick takes the handoff on the left side. He got a good block out in front by Zach Davis, your guy, and now he's taken down at the 40-yard line by Larson. And so another big first down, and the sophomore Davis just pushed his man back, and he got a great block on that line.
Yeah, that's push him back, Zach. Today, this guy, he's wreaking havoc on the defensive side. He's wreaking havoc here on the offensive side, and they're finishing their block. If you ever just want to just do a clinic on finishing your block, show this film to the kids.
Newman keeps it. Here's a pass over the top to Ziel Smith. He beat his man, and he's taken down at the 12-yard line by Thielevan.
But guess what?
And there is a flag at the 42-yard line, an illegal man downfield for Central Catholic, and you can sort of understand that because it looked like an RPO, didn't hand it off and put it over the top, and your lineman was already up the field.
Yeah, you sort of take that risk when your quarterback buys a little time. The linemen are thinking that the ball is already released, and next thing you know, they see a ball flying over their head, and they try to back up real quick, as if they weren't downfield too far. But that's the risk you take when your quarterback is back there extending plays.
May and Abraham, the receivers on the near side. Piersnick takes the handoff to the right side, got the edge, spun around. There's another flag as Piersnick goes down at the 40-yard line. He seemed to be tackled by number 71, Boone Stanley. And I think we're going to have another hold there, partner.
I guess those people that are eager to go home because they've worked all day, I don't know where those people are. But, the flags don't really matter because the clock is running. But you just want to see good quality football. You want to see guys just play a clean game. As a coaching staff, you want to make sure that your guys are not making penalties because this is kind of fool's gold. When you get into the playoffs, you can't make continue to have these type of penalties and, and reach your ultimate goal. So they're going to have to clean this up.
That's the 7th penalty on the Rams for 50 yards. As they set up trips left formation, running back to the right side. Newman gets hit as he throws, and the pass was incomplete to Ziel Smith. Owen Hunt put the pressure on Crew Newman.
Sometimes as an offense, you can call the perfect play for a defense, and then sometimes as a defense, you can dial up a perfect play for the offense. And right there, that was a perfect defensive call right there. They were trying to run sort of like a wide receiver screen or sort of a sprint out pass, or not a sprint out pass, but, sort of a short pass right there. And you had a blitzer coming off the edge, and he was right there in Crew Newman's face, and just not enough room to make the throw. Owen Hunt was coming
fast and hard.
Fast.
Ears were pinned back. Handoff to the running back, Brevin Pike, sophomore running back. That'll be Pike's first carry, and he's quickly rotated out. Coming in now into the backfield is Elliott Coyle, another sophomore running back. Palmer Davison will come in for Solomon McDaniel. So the tight end is now out of the system. You have 4 receivers out on the field.
So it looks like they're trying to get this 3rd and 23. I wouldn't be surprised if the ball is in the air. You have 2 capable receivers here on this side of the field.
Yes, I do. He had Miss Tinklebottom.
Newman looks left first, has some time, and a perfectly placed pass to Palmer Davison. He's at the 25-yard line. He's got some blockers out in front of him. The 10, the 5, and he beat a defender into the end zone. Do we have any dirty laundry? We do at the 48-yard line, and I can't see Crew's face, but you can see the disappointment in his stance right now as he stands just behind that flag. Unfortunate for the Rams because that was a beautifully placed ball by Crew Newman over the defenders.
He has done that on 3 or 4 different occasions today. Just put the ball right out of reach of the defender in a spot where only his man can catch it, and it has resulted in big plays. And right there was another one, but it's going to come back.
Two penalties, both indicated against Central.
Yeah, this is the type of things that make your coach mad. When you go into the locker room, you'll probably win this game by 40 points, and you still won't go in there feeling as excited as you should because of these type of penalties. And as a coach, you know, you're always looking for things that your team can get better at, but this isn't the area that you want to focus on when you come into the locker room.
So timeout called by Central Catholic. I'd like to apologize for any of that screaming that you may be hearing out in front of us right now. We've got some freshmen for Nelson. So timeout called. 2:43 left to go in the third quarter right now between Nelson and Central Catholic. It's a long third down. It'll be 3rd and 28 from their own 42-yard line.
Last week we had a 3rd and 41.
Yeah, you're right, and they converted on 4 downs.
Call a timeout, give your receivers a chance to rest so they can run this long route.
Ryan Anthony, the running back now, with Crew Newman in the backfield. 2 receivers each side. Newman looks to his left, now works himself over to the middle of the field, finding Abraham, and a great defensive play by the wide receiver to break up that interception. It seemed like that Jack Caswell was going to come up with the pick, and Amari Abraham goes from offense to defense in one play.
I like what you say there. Great defensive play by the wide receiver. You know, if you can't get the ball, if you can't catch it, then your next job is to make sure that they don't intercept it, they don't catch it, and that's exactly what happened. Now, what formation is this for the Rams? I haven't seen this formation before.
I believe this is the punt formation.
Oh, this is punt.
Yeah, we haven't not seen that very often this season. Seiler and Gray back to receive the punt from Vantoff. High but not long. Lands at the 40-yard line, takes a slight Rams bounce, and almost got caught up with the Nelson defender who was on the ground, but unfortunately he has enough wherewithal to get out of the way. Ball touchdown at the 35-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Hawks.
You know, not a very long punt, but, you know, you can't blame him. The punter, he hasn't been punting all day. He's cold.
No rhythm.
No rhythm, you know. And he gets out there and you want me to punt it? What is that? But what was interesting about that play was that Charlie Inglegow was laid on the ground, and he just decided to pop up. But I don't think he knew that ball was coming his way. And if he doesn't pop up, that ball hits him.
And that's a fumble.
Yeah, that's a fumble.
Trips right. Hand off to Seiler and chased down from behind. It looked to be Zach Davis. Nope, correction, it's number 67. That'll be Kainoa Hayes.
Seiler in the last game, you know, I think in the second play he ran for a 65-yard touchdown. He had over 100 yards rushing, I believe. And in this game, he has been bottled up, you know, as have the whole running attack by the Hawks. I think you told me there was 15.
They had 15 rushes for negative yardage at halftime. Dirdahl drops back. McDaniel in pursuit. Dirdahl avoids the pressure. Now he's going to tuck it and run. Thought about passing it for a second and met by Davis and Ziel Smith. No gain on the play. It'll be 3rd and 8. And Dirdahl momentarily looked like he thought about throwing that ball down the field, but instead decided to tuck it and run.
No gain on the play, but he ran for about 45 yards. But he looked like he wanted to throw that ball, and I think it got the best of him. He didn't know if he was over the line of scrimmage or not. Yeah, he just has to make a decision real quick, and he's running for his life back there, so it's hard, easy to save from sitting up here. But if you're going to throw it, you got to throw it. If you're going to run it, then tuck it and go and try to get as many yards as you can.
Some scores around the area as we head to the fourth quarter. It's 35-0 here between Central Catholic and Nelson High School. Jesuit is up 42-0 over Sherwood. That is the final. West Lynn up 42-0 over Lake Stevens, and then Oregon City is currently leading Beaverton 37-20.
So there's 2 games that ended 42-0, and we're here sitting at 35-0.
Could have been 42 had there not been one of 7 penalties on that drive.
Absolutely, and I think they still will have an opportunity.
They most definitely will, even with the running clock as we start the fourth quarter. It will be 3rd and 8 from the 37-yard line for Nelson.
The Rams defense could even score. These are the situations where the quarterback sort of gets careless. You got to get rid of the ball. These are the opportunities for the defense to take an interception to the house.
Dirty looks to his right. Intended for Kirsch. It goes off of his hands and out of bounds. It'll be 4th and 8. Beaupre checks into the game. Luke Baker will come out now. And it looks like the punting unit for Nelson comes onto the field. Smith will go back to receive the punt. He's standing at his own 44-yard line, 43 now, as he takes a few steps back. And timeout called by Nelson.
Timeout, Nelson.
We'd like to take this time, give a shout out to one of our fans listening, to Vern Kress, who's in Spokane, and would like to wish him a happy belated birthday. He's 91 years old and watching his grandson Bo Kress Allen in today's game. Some stats for Nelson. They're 5 of 17 passing for 58 total yards in today's game. And honestly, Dirdahl just hasn't had a whole bunch of time to get comfortable in the pocket back there. The rush has been in his face relatively quickly. Anytime that he stepped back to pass, he just hasn't gotten into any type of groove.
No, it's hard to get in a groove when, like you said, when there's somebody in your face as soon as you step back to pass. And we mentioned it early that the line play was going to be important, and the Hawks had dominated their line in the other games that they played. Big bodies, 245, 280 across the line. But this game has been dominated by the Rams up front.
I think Crew Newman's day is going to be done. I'm looking at Luke Baker getting warmed up on the sideline over here. They're going to go for it on 4th down. Deep pass down the sideline, and Beaupre, I know he wanted to get the INT, but it's probably best that he dropped that ball. And Central Catholic will take over at the 37-yard line of Nelson instead of their own 30-yard line, had that been intercepted by Beaupre.
Yeah, Beaupre's trying to get that pick, and I'm not mad at him.
No, you can't fault him for that.
Yeah, you go and get that pick, and then act like, oh, I didn't know, I forgot. You need to get that INT.
You go, I'm just making a play, Coach. I'm just making a play.
You taught us to make plays. This is your fault, Coach.
And my assumption was correct. Newman's night will be done. He'll be calling plays from the sideline now with Coach Pine. Luke Baker is the quarterback. Ryan Anthony is the back next to him. Ty Jones, Nico May, and Palmer Davison, the receivers.
Don't throw that flag.
That one I think is going to go on Baker because Davison was running on there last second and he never got set on the far side of the field, and that's a simple case of just having to wait an extra second.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Baker, he's a little bit nervous right now, or ready to go, rather. He wants to go, and he's out here, has his opportunity. He doesn't want to wait for the receiver. But the line judge, he could have let that go. Come on, let the kids play.
I shouldn't blame Baker. You could have had also an issue. We don't have a the clock up here either, the play clock. So that could have been counting down as well, and he just had to get the ball off. But Davison came onto the field late, and now Nico Mays having to come off. And I think we're going to have a timeout call. There's some trouble with getting the right people on the field.
Like, was there 12? Was Nico May figuring out that he shouldn't be on the field? Or somebody shouldn't be on the field?
No, there's 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I count 11.
You know, again, you don't want to see these type of mistakes, but it's good in one sense that you're able to, now you have the attention of your players. You will continue to have the attention of your players, feeling like, so they don't feel like we're invincible. There are some things that they have to be able to do to get better. You start beating teams 35-0, 42-7.
Or 71-7 like last year, yeah.
Yeah, you start to feel like you're invincible, but there's always things you can be working on as the band plays, tries to drown me out. You know, we're giving shout-outs. I just heard you give a shout-out to Vern Crest, and we'll give a shout-out to my guy Steve Acton. I know he's out there listening. Miss you, Steve.
We're ready to resume play. 1st and 15, handoff to Anthony, and taken down in the backfield by Alex Leontuck. Looks to be actually a loss of 1 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 16.
Leontuck with the stop for the Hawks.
See if they let these receivers let the young quarterback throw the ball a little bit. Ooh.
Another handoff to Anthony and another loss on the play, this time for 2. Owen Hunt was in on the tackle.
That's that type of pressure that the Rams had been getting earlier in the game on the Hawks. Just getting in there as soon as that ball is snapped, sort of reading the cadence and wreaking havoc in the backfield.
Ryvon Reese is the running back next to Baker. Baker drops back to pass on 3rd and 18. A deep pass over the top intended for Palmer Davison. And that will go incomplete. It'll be 4th and 18 from the 45-yard line.
They're going for it. We're keeping the offense out on the field. There's a little bit difference. Keeping the offense out here on the field. Luke Baker, nice ball right there. Just again, probably just a little bit excited. Throws the ball over the top.
Baker, just a sophomore. Drops back to pass. It's a screen, and he tried to set it up high for his running back. He wasn't in position yet, and that was intended for Elliott Coyle. And that will be a turnover on downs.
You know, it makes me think when you look at this clock and the clock is running and you think of all the big wins that the Rams had last year with all those numbers. If Newman would play 4 quarters, because there's plenty of games where they only played 3 quarters, or those plenty of games where the clock continues to run. If they did not have those rules, or if they were playing in the 4th quarter, what his numbers would look like last year.
Through the roof. It would have to be. I mean, with how well and how efficient he played. New quarterback in for Nelson. Designed quarterback keeper. And Amari Abraham wrestles him out of bounds for a loss of 2. Alex Nita in on the carry.
Yeah, he wrestled him out of bounds, exactly like you said. He was not getting away from that. Great tackle. When you can get your arms all the way around the ball carrier, just wrap him up, and there's no way that he's going to move forward, that's almost picture perfect.
And a false start.
Don't call it.
It's a late flag thrown out.
False start indicated against Nelson.
Looks like there's an adult men's softball league going on the field.
And just took a strike.
Just took a strike. You can't take strikes in slow pitch softball. What is going on?
Nita takes the snap, hands it off to Engelgau, who's still rolling his way forward through a couple of defenders, and he gets past midfield down to the 49 of the Rams.
Okay, Engelgau.
Pick up of about 11 yards on that play.
And he carried about 4 guys with him. No, that's not a first down.
It'll be 3rd and 5, and the chain gang moving pre-first down right there.
Chain gang. Look at the chain. They don't know what's happening over there.
3rd and 4. Pass swung out to the outside on a bubble screen. Anzalotti in on the tackle.
Jackson Larson.
Larson was the man who made the catch. So that'll be 1st and 10 now for the Hawks. Hawks trying not to get shut out right now.
Last week they had shut out the Reynolds Raiders until the very final play of the game, and they gave up a touchdown. Now they're trying to be on the receiving.
Oh, here's a big hole. And cutting back to the sideline, Anzalotti will bring down Engelgau. And I thought he had an opening right in the middle of the field. I'm not quite sure why he cut back to the sideline. I thought he had enough foot speed to get past the defenders.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you sort of shake yourself. You know, you're concentrating on shaking guys and concentrating on zigging and zagging, and you zig when you should have zagged or stayed straight, and he sort of ran himself into a tackle.
Well, it'll be 1st and 10. Farthest that this Hawks team has made it all night. They're at the 15-yard line of the Rams. Fake the handoff, swing it to the outside to Gray, the best receiver for the Hawks, and he beats the defender into the end zone. Slipped the tackle of Ascari. And the Hawks are on the board for the first time today. It's 35-6.
We'll keep fighting, keep working, and something good will happen. And that's something, that's something that they can be proud of and be happy with, and start to build on that as well.
Nito will get the touchdown pass.
Henry Nelson to attempt the extra point.
Henry Nelson, the kicker for the Hawks, will go on for the extra point. It's up. And it's good. That'll make it 35-7.
What song is this, Brian? I give you $5 if you can tell me the name of this song.
I'm listening.
Beat Shazam here.
I would never win in that game. I know this song. I don't think I actually know the name of the song, though.
Oh, yeah.
Call me dumb. It gives me Egyptian vibes right now.
That's what I'm thinking. I have no idea. You could have said anything and got $5. I have no idea what the answer is.
I just had to say it with some confidence.
Right. I could never beat Shazam either. You think that you can, and you can't. Did I tell you the story when our family was on Family Feud last year?
Wait, you were on Family Feud?
We were on Family
Whoa,
Feud.
bury the lead here.
Wow. And so at home, I know all the answers.
Oh, you froze when the cameras were on you.
I was in the fast money round the first time we had won, and so I was out there on the fast money, and I couldn't think of anything. It was the most embarrassing day of my life.
Not that I want to go back and relive your embarrassment, but I do want to see this episode. Where is it?
You can find it on YouTube. You definitely can.
Do I find it under the Broadous family?
Yes.
All right, I'll have to look that up as Williams takes the kickoff.
Uh-oh.
Splitting a couple of defenders, got away from one, and then slung to the ground by number 33, Alex Leon Tuck. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line for Central Catholic. Now, when you're talking about the speed around, are you talking about like you guys beat the other family, and then you have like the 30 seconds to name those 6 categories?
Yes.
That's tough.
And so here's life's most embarrassing moments. You know, the Steve Harvey, he said, united, and I'm supposed to fill in the blank.
I would have said nations. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, well, maybe I'm not so silly. I said kingdom, but the answer was states. How could you not say states? Every day I think about it, I just United States. So I said kingdom, and I'm thinking, oh, what a dumb. But my cousin was coming up behind me, so clearly he's going to say states, and we're going to get a lot of points.
Kingdom?
He said nations.
Oh, okay.
Neither one of us said United States.
Yeah.
So needless to say, we didn't win that.
Well, I'm in the same boat as you then, because I wouldn't have won that one either.
Well, that's good. I feel better about myself
yeah,
right now.
Yeah.
You know? I was 50 years old when I went on. You're 29 years old, and you wouldn't have said states, so I feel real
so
good.
you're fine. Yeah, don't even worry about it. Just wipe that one off your back there, bud.
We did end up winning, though. We won the
You
next
got that,
game
like,
and came back.
Did you get the bonus points too? Like, did your cousin pick up the slack on the other end, and like you guys got those points?
We didn't win that day. We ended up, the two of us bozos, we ended up with 90 points together. So we won the next game, and our 2 other cousins, we didn't put ourselves back out there. They didn't put us back out there. Our other 2 cousins won, and we ended up winning the 20,000.
New quarterback in for Central Catholic. It's a deep pass down the sideline and off the hands and into the ground. Cameron Giles had a walk-in touchdown as the pass was thrown by Bo Rolak, sophomore quarterback.
I don't think he can put the ball in a better place than right there. Nice pass by the sophomore. He gets in, gets his opportunity, makes the most of it, puts a beautiful pass right there on him. Who was that, Cameron Giles?
Yeah, he'll be thinking about that one tonight.
And they probably won't throw the ball anymore today.
As we head into the final minute of play and a false start on the far side of the field, Trey Hoffert.
Last week it talked about the stairs that they would have to run, but I'm sure they're going to still be running these stairs after all these penalties.
Well, my wife has now chimed in, and she said, how do you not come up with states?
Yes, thank you, wife. It's your fault. See, you're the bozo.
That's the 9th penalty now for 60 yards against Central Catholic. Run to the right side. It's Cole Thomas on the run, taken down by Leontuck. And that will be it. That will end our game. So final seconds tick off.
Can
10
you just
seconds
do this
left
for
to
me
go.
real quick? Can we just replay that moment on Family Feud?
Yeah, sure.
Can
What are your
say
questions?
United? Just say United.
United.
States.
99 points.
Yes,
You're good to go,
win.
sir.
All right.
Well, James, any final thoughts on today's game between Nelson and the Rams as Central Catholic takes it 35-7?
Another complete performance by the Rams, offensively and defensively. They're just getting better and better. This was the time when you were wondering how they were going to rebuild with the key losses that they've had and then the injuries they've had this year, but they've shown that they are still with it, and they are still the Rams.
And now you see the two teams coming together, and these two teams are unfortunately dealing with a loss in the community as Cameron Jenkins, a student at Nelson, passed away from brain cancer yesterday, and today they were wearing purple for childhood cancer. And so these two teams now will have a meeting at midfield, have a prayer, and in her honor we had a moment of silence earlier today. And even though these two teams were competing, they both had heavy hearts on the sidelines.
Absolutely. And this is what high school sports is all about right here.
Well, that will conclude our broadcast. That was James Broadous. I was Bryan Sleik. Thank you for tuning in tonight for another victory for Central Catholic. It was 35-7 over the Nelson Hawks. We'll catch you next time on Ram TV.